Well, I think everything that I've done prior to this, I didn't get to use the creative side of my brain as much. It's like recruiters have like 10 different hats they have to wear.
Yeah, we do. So you just had a plan and you were just going to go and execute. Like,
Yeah.
well,
I was going to try.
let me run with some ideas. That was it.
Yeah.
Don't shoot any of my ideas down. Just let me run with it and let me fail.
And I have no intent of wanting to be a recruiter.
No.
Like, that's not me.
No.
I don't know. The things that make sense in my head, like, it's different than the way you guys think, and I think that's a necessary difference for the jobs that we do. You'll get out of the Army what you ask of it. Mm-hmm. Being more of a mentor than just a 1 weekend a month leader. Yeah, I mean, the reason that I joined the Guard and the reason that I'm still in the Guard are two totally different things. I would say, if nothing else, the Army is really good at giving you strong and backbone relationships.
We have more negative thoughts in the day than...
Oh, absolutely.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
In this world, right, there is freedom, but, you still gotta go to work.
Old Liz... Well, I almost said Soder. Dilley. Okay, let's talk about this. Doing what you love.
Yeah.
Okay? I know that's a big thing for you, especially in the National Guard. You and I have met during COVID-19. We volunteered. Did you volunteer?
Yeah.
Ish?
Yeah.
Yeah, you had to, because they called up the 74 Deltas and the 68 Whiskeys, and then they called it all or whatever. We were in that first wave, I think, of the volunteer stuff. What, Team 4? I don't remember. Team 4, we were down in Kenosha for a little bit.
Yeah, I actually drove past the Kenosha County Detention Center the other day, and I was like, oh, dang.
Whitewater, we were in for training. And then Brookfield.
Yep.
And that's kind of the last where I stopped.
Yeah. Yeah, I ended up going up to Eau Claire for a while, too, but...
on a different team.
Yeah.
Team 4.
That's so long ago.
What was his name? Lieutenant Hitchcock. Mm-hmm. My God, I can't believe I forgot his name. Hitchcock, and then we had Pigeon, and then me, Miller.
I was just a little baby specialist.
Yep.
I had no idea what was going on.
E4, and then I was kind of in charge of all the food. That was pretty much all I did.
You hooked it up. Food and gym.
COVID-19 orders, National Guard, getting called up for...
We spent some time up in Sussex, too. I remember sitting in the Sussex Armory for...
Yep, some more training.
Yeah.
More training, because more people were coming in, and then we were training them. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah.
Cool, that's how we met. And then...
I came on recruiting assistant orders when I was in pharmacy school. I did a month in between semesters.
Which was what, a year or two later?
Yeah, something like that. It was 2021.
Yeah. And what did you do in that time other than, I mean, you're in the artillery.
Yep.
You did that throughout the whole time, and then you were at Concordia, you said?
Yeah, I was doing pharmacy school at Concordia.
Pharmacy school, and then you stopped.
Yeah. So
what
when
happened?
when I was here the first time, or why I quit pharmacy school?
Yeah, why'd you, talk about why you quit pharmacy school. That's a pretty extensive school. It's very difficult to get in.
Yeah, so I had done my 4-year degree at Edgewood and got a degree in chemistry with a minor in biology, and studied like crazy on the the PCAT, which is the Pharmacy College admissions test.
Yeah.
And I was already in the Guard at this point, obviously, so studied really hard for that, and then I got through the first year of pharmacy school, and I was working at All Saints as a pharmacy tech. I had worked at a Walgreens, and I had worked at a CVS, and then I was working at All Saints. And every time I worked with a new pharmacist, I would ask them, if you had to do this all over again, would you still do would you still be a pharmacist, or would you do something else? 9 out of 10 of them said they would have done something else.
That bad?
Yeah.
Okay, what was the main reason? What was the biggest reason why they said that? What?
It's just not what you think it's gonna be.
I mean, the pay is pretty good.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's worth that.
Exactly.
Okay.
Some of them said they would have gone into pharmaceutical law. A lot of them just said they would be a regular doctor.
Sure.
You don't get as much hands-on patient care time, and then, or if you're just in the actual pharmacy, you probably don't get any hands-on patient care time. And a lot of it is like, if you're working in a retail setting, you're dealing with insurance and angry customers.
Yep. Oh boy.
And if you're working in a hospital setting, you're dealing with angry nurses.
Oh boy.
So it's just a lot of getting yelled at.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun at all. No. So that's why you left?
It was a combination of that and looking ahead. Like, it was $30,000 a year.
Eesh.
Like a private school post-grad, you don't really get
No.
benefits for. So it was $30,000 a year. Looking at it, I didn't really think I was going to enjoy doing it for the rest of my life. And then, like, I graduated undergrad summa cum laude, like I had a 4.0, right? And I was studying 10 hours a day in pharmacy school and only getting like a 2.5 or a 3.5 or a 3.7. Like,
oh boy.
I wasn't going to be competitive for residencies, like, because I thought that emergency medicine would be kind of fun.
Okay.
Right, but you have to be pretty competitive to get a residency like that.
That sounds like a lot of work for...
Not a lot of, I mean, yeah, a big paycheck is cool, but...
Yeah, because what do they typically make?
Depending on the setting, like if it's private or retail or hospital, like 80 to 100.
That's not a big paycheck.
I mean, for a broke college kid, it's a big, big paycheck.
I guess.
But like right now, I think I'm on track to do like 65 this year, so.
Yeah, with the Army, obviously. Okay, cool. I know you know, pretty well. We've been working together for a while.
Yeah.
You're very creative.
Yeah.
In that you've kind of fallen into that path. Mm-hmm. Social media, editing, you know, specifically that, and then having a message and all that for your specific page.
Yeah.
How did you start that?
Well, I think everything that I've done prior to this, I didn't get to use the creative side of my brain as much, right? So like, I don't know, I grew up being like very arts and craftsy, like, I don't know, just kind of drawing and sewing and playing guitar and doing all sorts of like fun stuff. And then in school, I got very into the mindset of like, I need to go and get a job where I'm like doing something in the medical field or like something analytical. Because I was a smart kid, right? Like I got straight A's, like did well in tests, like all the things that tell you, well, you should go be a doctor or something, you know what I mean? And like doing that, going to pharmacy school and then going and being a firefighter, like nothing, it just didn't ever feel like fulfilling.
No.
And then...
It was just simply not fun.
No, and like when I was doing firefighting, I would leave for a couple weeks to go into like Army schools. I had a lot of Army schools last year. And then like the thought of coming back and like doing my first shift, I would just like dread it. Like I would almost cry every time. And Declan can vouch for that. But like, it was just something that I wasn't looking forward to. Like, if I'm gonna you spend 24 hours at a time away from home.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of your life if you are going to do a career like that for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
To not actually look forward to it and enjoy it.
So you know, graduated high school, joined the Guard, went to pharmacy school. Well, obviously did your undergrad, and then went to pharmacy school. Decided you didn't like that. Switched over to becoming a firefighter. And this whole time you've been in the artillery for the National Guard.
Yep.
And then you decided that you dreaded that. That's kind of fascinating too, because obviously, like pharmacy school, like that's its own thing. Analytical, you're talking about, and then the firefighting world is more of like a reactionary. Right. It can be high paced, but it's like a low and then a high. Right. Very fast paced in that sense, and then like what you do with that is very, very important. Right. Because people's lives could be on whatever. And
which is why I thought I would like it.
Yeah. And then you dreaded that, and then now. Let me ask you this, okay? You've changed a lot of things in a very short amount of time. Okay, very short amount of time, because you're trying to figure out all that, what you wanted to do. What did you land on now, and what do you like about it?
So I quit firefighting in October
Yeah.
of 2023, and I had enough saved up that I was safe for being like unemployed for a month.
Yeah.
And then I got to go to the Military Influencer Conference in November.
Military. So that's not just the National Guard. That's all.
No,
all
it
branches.
was like, it was less about like influencers and it was more about like networking,
Okay.
I would say. It was a cool experience for sure. And I got to go because I'm part of the Wisconsin Army National Guard influencer program.
Yeah.
So they sent me out there for that. And that kind of sparked the idea in me that like recruiters have, I like to see it as like recruiters have like 10 different hats they have to
Yeah, we
wear.
do.
Like you're a salesperson, you're a mentor, you're HR, you're like a secretary, like you have all these different things that you have to do, right? And social media is definitely not a priority,
No.
but it can help a lot of you.
Yes.
And I know that like social media is something that I've personally been working on and kind of consistent with, I would say.
Sure.
So originally what I wanted to do, I put together this whole like storyboard, and I was going to pitch to the RRB leadership about, I was going to call it a mobile recruiting assistant. So I would be able to like go and visit different recruiters and do what I'm doing with you guys. So
Yep.
filming you guys and creating content and posting the content for you.
So you just had a plan, and you were just going to go and execute. Like,
Yeah.
well,
I was going to try.
yeah.
Yeah.
Without any experience or, I mean, you do have a little bit of experience on your own
Sure.
personal life,
But
right?
not like on a professional scale
No.
like I was pitching.
Yeah, it
essentially.
was just like, I'm a plan, go execute, see what the hell happens.
Yeah, I mean, at that point I was unemployed, so if I didn't end up getting it, it wasn't going to matter anyway.
Sure.
But then, like, knowing you, I reached out to you and a couple other recruiters that I knew from social media. And I came in here and just pitched it to you and Hoffman. And McAvoy kind of overheard the conversation too, and between all of you guys, you just kind of snatched me up and
Yep.
kind of saved me from getting eaten alive by the sharks.
You know why I snatched you up, right?
Well, I think there's multiple reasons.
So, yeah.
I would say, number one, you wanted to save me from
Yes.
disappointment because I had high hopes and I probably would have gotten slightly squashed.
Slightly, yes.
And then number two, you knew that it could be valuable
Yep.
and you wanted to utilize that here.
Yep. Yes, more on that valuable portion. So, for the viewers, I've dropped a lot of money in sales, understand that, and I know that the social media, the advertising, the marketing is just lacking
Yeah.
for the, I don't know about the National Guard as a whole, but I know that for us in the Wisconsin Army National Guard.
Yeah.
So learning more about that, knowing that I had to have some sort of social media presence, but I didn't, and it was just very difficult for me to spend the time out of my day from, doing what you said, HR, like calling people, getting in front of people, closing them, building packets, all of those things. Like
All 10 million
Yes,
things.
all 10 million things. I just didn't have the time to put an actual effort towards that. And I
Right.
saw that when you came in, I was like, holy, yes, someone who can sit me down and we can actually go over this, much like we're doing right now. We're taking 20 minutes out of the day and we're gonna knock something out, and then that's your primary job. And I picked, upon getting rehired here in the West Dallas storefront as a recruiter, one of the things that I talked to Sergeant McAvoy about, I said, hey, let me run with some ideas. That was it.
Yeah.
Don't shoot any of my ideas down. Just let me run with it and let me fail. And he was okay with it. And then this is kind of what happened. And then there was some sort of, as we go on and started working this stuff, and I was, your word got out like that you were doing your thing, and here specifically, and then it was like almost frowned upon because FD&Gs are supposed to be used for grooming for recruiters, and I was like, yeah, well, there's a whole different world out here.
Yeah. And I have no intent of wanting to be a recruiter.
No.
Like, that's not me.
No, yeah, like you behind the scenes for someone like me who can use, I don't know, enhance, maximize my ability to recruit and just get out there, specifically with marketing and all that, that's where
Yeah.
I snatched you up. I was like, yeah, well, we've done this before, and I know that you're really good at this. And selfishly speaking,
Yeah.
my brain doesn't work good
Yeah. Well,
with
yeah.
organization, and you certainly help with that. And then obviously building processes and SOPs and all that. So that was
Yeah.
one of the reasons, well, the biggest reason why I was like, no. How about you
Yeah.
just do it here?
Yeah.
You get some experience, you get some
Yeah.
reps, and we build something bigger from that.
Yeah. It's been. I'm glad that I'm starting here for sure. It's been a lot of learning and just kind of trial and error for sure. But I'm glad, like, I've been able to do more stuff, like not just content, right? Like helping with the office and making it kind of sprucing it up a little bit,
Yep,
or like
yep.
helping you guys organize your ideas. Like, you have 10 million things going on in your brain, and then I can just kind of put it on paper for you and make sense of it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I don't know. The things that make sense in my head, like, it's different than the way you guys think, and I think that's a necessary difference for the jobs that we do. Right? Like, you have
Yes.
to be operating on a different level or a different wavelength than I do for the specific purposes.
Yes. Yeah, I'm definitely down a different wavelength, that's for sure. Yeah, because my whole goal is to get people into the National Guard and spread the word.
Right.
So, yeah, anyway, so that's doing what you love.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. You've done everything under the sun, much
Yeah.
like I've done. Doing what you love, right? So obviously, like, you and I both love being in the Guard.
Yeah.
Right? I went through a stint where I hated it, but I'm back.
Yeah.
Okay. Doing what you love. You obviously love your unit. You're in the artillery world.
Yeah.
And you don't want to leave them because you are a section chief now, and you absolutely love it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But you're also pairing what you do on the outside, what you've kind of fallen in love with, which is social media, spreading the word, anything in that, every platform you're learning, and you get to use your creativity on that, right? You've kind of fallen and created a job
Yeah.
to get paid by the Army in order to enhance that.
Yeah.
Talk to me about that.
So I think, and this will kind of tie into one of the other things I wanted to talk about, but like, one of the pieces of advice I got really early on in my Army career was, you'll get out of the Army what you ask of it, right? So like, if you want to do 6 years, get in, get out, like, you'll probably end up getting out as an E4, and that'll be it. But like, if you really want to put in the time and the effort and you want to get something out of it, like, you can take whatever you want. And that's what I see is what I'm doing right now.
Sure.
Like, I have done a lot of things. I've been able to do a lot of things through the Army that, because I've asked for them and pushed for them and worked for them,
Yeah.
that they've been able to happen. And like, I would also say, you said that I've changed a lot of things recently, right? And like,
Yeah.
my goals in general have just kind of changed. Like, I would say when I was in pharmacy school and around that time, like, my life goals were more like, I want to go to all these cool guy schools, like go airborne,
Yeah.
Pathfinder, all
Yeah.
that stuff. And like, I did air assault, which was a really good learning experience.
Yeah.
And like, I wanted to be a pharmacist, right? Like, be the breadwinner, kind of all that kind of stuff. And now my goals are more like, I want to be a mom and, support my family. And then, like, my overarching goal for the Army is I want to be able to help as many new people in the Army, like, get a good start as I can.
Yeah, I think that when you go down that road of helping new people in the National Guard or the Army or whatever, like,
Yeah.
there are things that I wish I would have gotten, but there are a lot of really good things that I did get
Yeah.
from specific leaders and how to navigate. Honestly, because we're only part-time here, right?
Right. Well,
us, we're active duty, whatever. But for like, you know, people in the M-Day world, the 1 week in a month, right? How to navigate actual life
Right.
and be in the National Guard and how it can enhance that. Like,
Yeah.
I never had that connection.
Right.
I just had to figure it out. And it's very difficult because we're only in front of those people
Yeah.
literally 2 days out of the month.
Yeah, and that's one of the, so being a section chief, right, everyone else would call it a squad leader,
Sure.
right? In artillery, we're just
Yep.
weird. But like being in the position that I'm in, this is like as high up as you can go while still having contact with that brand new Joe.
Yes.
And
Yes, absolutely.
I've made it a point to not just have contact with my guys a week before drill to make sure they got the newsletter and then at drill.
Yeah.
Like, I stay involved in their lives, you know, not overbearing, but I stay involved throughout the month, you know, to make sure, like, if they have educational goals, I'm helping them with that. If they have personal lifestyle change goals that they are trying to accomplish, like, I'm helping them with that. And just kind of,
Like helping them find jobs, even, you know. so,
yeah,
that's-
like
it-
being
how to
more of a
navigate-
mentor than just a 1 weekend a month
Yeah.
leader.
Yeah, you know, I've been in for quite a long time, and you know, you nailed it right in the head, like on how I feel specifically. It's like being a staff sergeant and a squad leader in the infantry. That is as high as I like the next level. Yes, we're still as a platoon sergeant with the Joes, we call them,
Yeah.
right, the lower enlisted. But I'm not integrated with them, and they're not directly
Right.
going to me. Right, he is the platoon sergeant. He is the platoon daddy. His whole thing is to take care of the entire platoon, but he's not very integrated into their individual lives as a squad leader could
Yeah.
be, right, or is. And then, you know, more importantly, as team leader, it really is.
Yeah.
Right, and so I just don't want to let that go.
Yeah.
You know, and being a recruiter now allows me to still do that.
Having that like
Yeah.
mentorship role with the people that you're putting in.
And so, like,
Yeah, no, I told that.
it just falls in, like, I've fallen in love with that aspect, and then of course I've fallen in love with recruiting to spread the word,
Yeah.
share the knowledge, share my experience, and then I don't know, maybe change someone's path to find something like this because all of the great things that we've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the like reason that I joined the Guard and the reason that I'm still in the Guard are two totally different things, right? Like I
Yeah.
joined the Guard to pay for what I thought I was going to be a physician assistant.
Yeah.
So I joined to pay for post-grad school.
Yep.
And now I'm here because I want to make a career out of it and I love what I'm doing. So, I mean, I joined when I was 20 and I was halfway through college. And if you would have showed me a picture of what my life looks like right now, back then, I would have said, there's no way.
No way.
There's absolutely no way.
Man, it's, you know, these people, they come in, you know, just talking to a high school, it's like, everyone's just pushing them. Do one thing, right?
Yeah.
Pick something,
That's
something.
hard.
And it's just like, yeah, some people do that. But at the expense of what?
Right.
First of all, it's expensive. And then
Yeah.
you're talking about like relationships, and because that's kind of one of the most, for me, one of the most important things is building relationships, and that's kind of, I don't know, a will to live. To be honest, like
Yeah.
I'm dead serious. Like that's kind of one of the most important things.
Yeah. I would say, if nothing else, the Army is really good at giving you strong and like backbone relationships.
Oh, yeah, that bond is incredible. Yeah, let's kind of tie that into the last thing here. Setting goals and using vision boards, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that, like vision boards and setting goals, and what did you do in order to
Yeah. So
kind of achieve them?
as a general rule of thumb, like there's different ways you can do a vision board, but what I like to do is I have a cork board and then I'll print out different pictures of things like that I want to achieve, or things that I want my life to look like, or things that I want to have, or things that I want to do. And I'll kind of categorize it almost like that.
It's very organized. Very organized.
That's my, I don't know, beige flag. But And then I keep it in my office, and then I'll like have a digital version of it that I use as like a wallpaper on my phone. So like, I see it all the time in my office, and then I see it all the time, like every time I open my phone.
Yeah.
For a while, I actually took like the Face ID off my phone so that I had to like look at it every time.
You know, it's funny that you say that because I did something very, very similar with Ed Milet. Are you familiar with?
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah.
Okay, so he's got like that thing of well, he's got a book, The Power of One More, and then like changing your thoughts every day.
Yeah.
And that was very similar to what I did. Like, I put up in order to qualify for the American Open or whatever. I saw it every single day.
Yep.
And then I actually started to change my thoughts by putting those things I can see them more often every single day. So that way, my vision. I didn't have a vision board, but I just
Right.
knew that I woke up and I'm making progress towards that vision.
Yeah. That's why a lot of people that
Yeah.
set like New Year's resolutions or goals at the
don't-
beginning of the year,
Yeah.
like they write it down one time and then they never look at it or think about it again.
Most of them don't even write it down.
Yeah. So like I think writing things down is a huge start, and then like the visualization aspect of it is why I think vision boards are so important.
Yeah.
Because if you can actually see what it's going to look like.
Literally look at it.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yeah.
And that helps change your thoughts in a positive manner towards.
Yeah.
That's what essentially what Ed Milet was talking about in his
Yeah.
changing his thoughts, because we do, and we're going back to the negative and positive thing. Like we have more negative thoughts in the day than
Oh, absolutely.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And so if you're constantly thinking that negative, like it correlates.
It's like your default.
Yeah, it correlates to how you live.
Your quality of life.
Like your exactly your quality of life. So
Yeah.
having those vision boards,
Yeah.
maybe we should. Actually, you know what? We kind of do in my house.
Yeah.
Kayla.
I know. So like when we went and visited First Form HQ, like they all have their little cubicles or whatever, and every person has to have a vision board like in their cubicle, like a little cork board with.
Ah,
So it's kind of like a mandated thing, but I think it's beneficial for everyone. For
okay.
Sure.
So how does one build one? Okay, well, how about this?
Well, I guess kind of the things that I was talking about. So like things that I want to do.
Yeah.
So like right now I have, I want to go and see some different national parks. So I have some stuff like that on there. In the next couple of years, we want to start a family. So I have some pictures of like maternity pictures and stuff like that. I had like pregnant Tia Claire Toomey on my board.
Oh,
She's
Tia.
super fit
Yeah.
and kind of like a role model there.
Sure.
I want to keep progressing in jiu-jitsu, so I have Maggie Grandotti. She's a really well-known female jiu-jitsu. It's like a female jiu-jitsu athlete, and then
Yeah.
I have like a blue belt on there.
Sure.
So that's like my next belt. And then like things that I want to have. So like I want to build my finances, so I put like a pile of money on there.
Sure.
Eventually, like I want to keep being promoted, so I put like the next rank for the Army on there. I have a picture of like a barn dominium because we want to have a house like that eventually. So it's like things I want to do, things I want to have, things I want to accomplish, and then like what I want my life to look like.
I think that's the best advice to at least start something. Like
Yeah.
find something that you want to do. It could literally be anything.
And I think that people, you almost have to think bigger than you think is reasonable.
Yes.
Because if you set like a reasonable goal or expectation and you fall short, then you're falling short of that. But if you set something that's higher than you actually think you can attain, then if you fall short of that, it's like you're reasonable.
Yeah, you're reasonable. You've actually taken some sort of action and you saw change that would,
Yeah.
okay, all right, let's keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Yes, well,
No, I love that because
no, I just left,
I just looked up and saw Vision, Wisconsin Vision. Across
It's a sign.
It's literally a sign.
Yeah. No, but like a real application of this, right?
Sure.
So I made E5 in 2.5 years, which is kind of maybe a
Sure.
little fast. But then when I made that, I put staff sergeant rank on my vision board.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a conversation between two of my mentors that they sent me a screenshot of. They were talking about how I could be the first female howitzer section chief in the state of Wisconsin. Like I would be on
Awesome.
track to do that,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
right? And I had that up on my vision board until I got E6. And then I did become the first female section chief in the state.
Look at that.
So that was like a big that was a big like breakthrough for me, and like, you know, I looked at it every day. It's like, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna I'm not gonna give them any grounds to say she got it because she's a female and they just wanted to, you know, make headlines or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
You actually
Yeah.
set the goal and it happened. You know, it's fascinating you say that because it's very organized. Like I just the only way I can
Yeah.
explain it. So to steal the show, no, I'm just playing. For you know goals that I've done, you know, okay, let's just put it this way: the things that I've achieved, they weren't. I didn't see them. I just knew in the back of my mind that I could just delete everything and then go that road. And if I kept doing that every single day, I would just get better at it. And it just happened.
yeah.
Right? So you don't necessarily, right, idea would actually be up, put it there so you can see it. But so as long as it's in the back of your mind
Yeah.
and you keep,
But I think like you have a
progress towards
special
it.
kind of like obviously your brain is special.
yeah, very special.
So like
I would
you
agree
can
with that.
have something and then that like consumes you. So like a lot of people aren't going to be able to think of something that they want to do and then it just stays in the back of their mind all the time.
Yeah, it's very,
They need to like be reminded of that. And that's me too. Like if I set a goal for something and I write it down and then I never see it again, I'll forget that that was one of my goals. Right? Like unless I'm seeing it all the time and I know like this is what I'm working for, like it's not gonna stick with me. And I'm a
Yeah.
very like list process. Like I love
I'm
to
not.
check things off lists, right?
am
And that's like the difference here.
Yeah, very
just why things kind of work well. But like for someone like you, that you can just be consumed by your desire to
Yes.
accomplish that thing.
yes.
Maybe then a vision board or like a set of written out goals isn't as important.
No, it is not.
But for me, or like a lot of people in general, I think having that written down and having a plan.
At least see it right off the bat. I mean, I
Yeah.
did write stuff down. Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, I did that. I just happened to just, consume,
Yeah.
obsess.
Yeah. You have an
you know?
obsessive
Very,
personality.
yes, very,
Yeah.
like,
An addictive personality.
yeah, because I just, when I do something, I don't have the urge or need to be the best at it. I just
Yeah.
want to be good at it.
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah.
I have the feeling of being miserable, and I don't want that.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I
for
want
sure.
the other side of things.
Yeah.
And that's a very easy thing to wake up and
Chase.
have some sort of intrinsic motivation to go.
Signature, date.
That's that.
This is the first job that I've felt that in, where I'm like, I'll catch myself working more after dinner, or like I'll wake up early and instead
Yeah.
of doing like my morning routine, I'll like jump into work. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
I have, yeah.
Gotta pump the brakes.
I get that. I would get home.
Yeah.
And just go right on YouTube and start learning.
Yeah.
And have like 3 words with my wife, and that was
Kayla.
that. You know, poor Kayla. Yeah. But we've gotten better.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. But cool.
Yeah.
How do you want to end this?
I don't know. I think just like something that's in addition to what we've talked about, probably the best piece of advice, two of the best pieces of advice that I've gotten. Number 1, fail confidently.
Yeah.
That was a piece of advice that I got when I got my 6. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready for this.
Fail confidently.
And number 2, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness.
Who told you that? Awesome.
Cool.
Cool.